Hi friends, this is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com again, and this video belongs to the playlist I've created showing what publishers, do create historic tarot decks and what you could expect to receive from them as far as quality and what type, of reproduction they do. Now, this video is for the Sivilixi group. I have to give a disclaimer, however. This deck that I have, which is identical to the one that Sivilixi provides, doesn't have Sivilixi written anywhere on the box. This particular one was distributed when it was when Andre Dumanche was in charge from the Grimaud, from the Grimaud group. It is my belief, and if I'm wrong, bear that in mind, that there might be somebody else who knows better. But I do believe that when Patrick Koch purchased the surplus of these decks, he kind of rebranded it as Sivilixi and has his name associated with it. But I believe that they're the exact same cards. And at any rate, Sivilixi, to my knowledge, only provides 2 historic decks that are available to be purchased by the public, and they are these 2 decks. This one is the Tarot of Paris, sometimes called the Anonymous Tarot of Paris, because no one rightly knows who is responsible for the artwork. And the other is the Vieville Tarot deck. Both of these decks are facsimile decks and are owned by the French National Library. Now, they're extraordinary decks. They're very significant historical decks. And they're both in their entirety. I don't believe there are any, any decks, any cards that were recreated for the deck. I don't believe that that is the case. Again, I could be wrong, but I do believe that these both decks are precious because they're very early decks. They possibly predate the Marseille style, probably do, and that they're intact completely. They're fully extant. Now, all of the communication, I think Patrick Koch definitely has written a book that is in English, available in English, but this particular publication that I have from, I think, 85 is strictly in French by Grimaud. And then the cards here provided by Sivilixi are in English and French, telling us about the cards. Oh no, wait a minute. Yes. So, what can you expect? Well, you can expect a quality deck. You could expect a facsimile deck, meaning that the cards appear as they really do appear. They're as close to the original as could possibly be printed today, in other words. Both of these card stocks are very similar, although I think the Vieville has a slightly more waxy feel to it, and this one has, and the Tarot of Paris has a more flat feel to it, not as waxy smooth. I believe, as I said, the only 2 decks that Sivilixi carries to the public, makes available for the public, are these two decks, you know, and they're very important for the reasons I've already mentioned. I didn't put them in any order, and I'm not comparing them really because they're distinct and, you know, fully different decks. So I'm not showing the same card, you know. I'm just randomly showing cards here. But if you go to Sivilixi, I believe it's Sivilixi.com. If not, I'll get the correct address and put it down below. These two decks are available. And as I said, the Tarot of Paris is identical to the one I have. I think it's the same stock. It's just that once Patrick Koch, I guess, purchased the surplus, he became Sivilixi, and he's provided the same cards under a new brand. I believe the backs are authentic. And both of these decks have been produced by others. I showed and I did a comparison video between the Tarot of Paris done by Grimaud, which is who originally published my deck, and the International Museum of Tarot in Italy, who recently came out with another version. So I did do a comparison of that. And the Vieville trump cards have been also produced by Fleur Noir, or Fleur. In English, it looks like Fleur Noir, but I believe the pronunciation is properly Fleur Noir. And I will be doing a video comparing the trump cards of this deck, this publication by Sivilixi, as compared to the cleaned up version by Fleur Noir. Now, Fleur Noir's publication only includes the 22 trump cards. I believe the gentleman passed away. And after he passed away, you know, a completed deck was never created. I don't know if it was ever his intention to create the full deck of 78 or just the trump cards. But in any event, he can't do it now, obviously. And I've been to the website a number of times, and I don't see anything in the process or in the works for a extended pack of the Vieville to be created at any time soon. But if you like, again, if you like historic decks, and if you like them as they exist, you know, as close as possible to the original, I think you will very much enjoy the work, the two tarot decks that Sivilixi has available. They're wonderful decks to have in a collection. They're fascinating to look at and to study. You know, they're very distinct trump cards in particular. In fact, I should probably, well, I'll just do it this way. I was going to say I should probably just pull out the trump cards and just show you those. But, you know, even the pip cards are interesting, and the court cards are interesting. And as I mentioned, this is only a random showing. I'm not comparing the same card or anything like that. They're just as the cards pop up in the decks. Both of these decks, of course, you know, originate with France. The date, if there is an exact date for the deck of Paris, yeah, it doesn't give anything more committed than the 1600s, the 17th century. I'm not seeing a date. I mean, this date is referencing this Forza deck, so it's not that. And as far as the Vieville, again, I don't think we're getting... I don't think we're getting a concrete date. Somewhere between the years 1643 and 1664. So, in the neighborhood of the Noble tarot deck. And they're different, you know, they're quite different than, you know, they have differences from the Marseille tarot deck. And they're not that far out of time. So they're fascinating decks. Could go on and on about them, but I won't. Okay, so there you have it. They're both, you know, as I said, as close to the original as can be done in modern age. Both quality cardstock. I probably wouldn't ever riffle shuffle these. And the Vieville has a more waxy feeling to it than the Tarot of Paris. And I will be doing a side-by-side comparison between the trump cards of this Vieville and the Fleur Noir version that I have. But I've already done a side-by-side comparison between the Tarot of Paris from this publication and the International Tarot Museum of Italy. So if you're interested in seeing a side-by-side of that, just go look at my playlists and you'll find it. I hope this has been helpful to you. Until next time, friends, peace and stay well.